Hello again and welcome to Crime and Music. I'm your host, Brian J. Kinsley, and with me as always, my friend Ben Ruppel.
I think I'm a little excited, Brian. It's been a while, my man.
I am very excited, and if you like excitement and music and crime, you're in the right place. Every other Wednesday, this man and I bring you a true crime podcast about people in and around the music business and their misadventures in law breaking. If you like music history, crime history, murder mystery, and more, check us out wherever you get your podcasts.
It sounds like you're doing like a read.
Oh,
well, you are doing a read.
I mean, it's what I say every time. It has been a while, so.
It has been a while. We have been busy with the sickness.
I let people know out on Twitter that Ben called in sick, so unfortunately, I apologize, guys. We missed a week. That won't happen very often.
Well, I wasn't the sick one. My family got sick. Oh man, I just felt so bad. I was talking to my brother on the way in here today. The whole house is just sick.
Yeah.
They're just all nasty. Not like got a headache and a fever. No, all the nastiness, the things we shall not speak of on this podcast.
Things that shall not be named.
He's got two little kids and everybody's just doing everything.
It's coming out of both ends.
It's coming out of everybody's both ends.
That's not what you want.
And his house is getting roofed, so they're all banging on the roofs as they're all sick in the
God.
All right. Well, okay, that's a great way to open the show.
Yeah, way to start.
Let's talk about nasty body fluids.
But we're back. So thanks for sticking around, everybody. Share with a friend. We've got some exciting news. Apparently, according to the internet, Wyoming's a place.
Wyoming exists. They got the internet in Wyoming.
Wyoming finally downloaded an episode of Crime and Music.
Yay, Wyoming.
Thank you to Wyoming. Thanks to everybody else. Man, that felt good because for a while I didn't understand. I was like, why? Why Wyoming? Why?
Roaming in Wyoming.
Well, the roaming has landed, and they've got Crime and Music like everybody else, so thanks for that. Thanks for you people who shared your people in Wyoming. I know that's what happened. Someone was like, my cousin Ethel lives out there. I'm going to share her an episode.
Yeah, I'm going to share her up an episode.
Ha! All right. Are you ready?
I am. What are we at? What episode are we on today?
We are on episode 40.
We've done 39 of these things.
39. Well, we have actually done 40. There's a secret Johnny Cash episode that people don't know about, except for the good people of Australia.
Oh, yeah. Well, hold on. I thought we published that here.
That was never released in the States. If you go to our website, you'll find a Johnny Cash super secret episode.
Super secret.
But today, it's not a secret. Today is going to be interesting. There's a lot of cards here.
That is a fat stack. Are those printed off the printed computer? Wow.
All printed in digital, which may not be the best thing, but we're going to try it out.
I feel like now, Brian, even though the cards are handy, they're nice. It's a good tool to quickly flip back and forth.
Yes.
Can't we just get it on a phone?
Go paperless.
Yeah, go paperless. Save trees.
That's the goal maybe for 2020. We'll try and go paperless.
But I think there's a certain advantage to having the cards. Actually physically talking and handling them and going back real quick.
It's much quicker to shuffle through physically than on my phone.
So
God forbid somebody call us.
Yeah, and we strive to, as people in life, to be good stewards of the earth.
Well, that's true. We are good stewards of the earth.
I'm starting to recycle some things.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, Ben is the person who came up and taught me that recycling actually causes more pollution.
There are good and bad aspects of recycling. Unfortunately, the big problem in the United States for recycling is our government took it over. It is 100%. Right. I mean, they put quotas on things, so they are to get their money, they need to recycle stuff. And so you sort all your shit out, 5 different trucks come to your house and pick it up. It all goes in the same landfill. I mean, I'm not against recycling. I'm against whatever that is.
That's true. The plan is great. The execution is poor.
But the name that shall not be mentioned guilted me into recycling, and now I'm recycling a select few commodities.
Nice.
All right.
Nice. My wife has actually gone to the next level, and she wish cycles, they call it. She recycles things that she wishes she could recycle, like styrofoam and like things like that don't go in our recycling.
She just puts it in there?
Just puts it in there.
Yeah, you feel good. That's basically
she's
the
like,
whole thing.
Good. And then
I feel good.
Specifically, our town had a monthly newsletter that comes out online, which had a like a little asterisk. It was like, please, only recycle what's recyclable and stop putting them in those stupid grocery shopping bags. The workers at the recycling plant then just have to shake the bag out, and that takes more time. And my wife's like, meh.
Yeah, you got to take those bags to Myers.
I put it in the bin. It's good.
You got to take them. Oh, and I always tell them at the grocery stores, hey, put a lot of stuff in one bag. I can handle it. So, and so they don't have to use so many bags.
Fancy man, you have somebody else check you out at the grocery store.
Well, then they'll like triple bag it. I'm like, you guys.
That's why I check out myself.
I'm gonna start bringing in laundry baskets and just put all my stuff in the laundry basket without a bag.
Like Aldi's.
That's what. Yeah, it is.
All right, let's get into this.
5 minutes into the discussion.
Oh, God, and I always hit the wrong button.
All right, technical difficulties. Oh, I know that song.
Hey, we're back with technical difficulties.
That's a big part of our show.
All right, Guess the Guest is what we're doing right now for episode 40. Get your 40s out, everybody. Guess the Guest, here we go. The Voice.
Simon Cowell.
No. Well, very close, though.
Paul Abdul.
Ooh, no. The Sultan of Swoon.
All right, I'm going with the dude. Sultan.
Yeah.
Of Swoon.
That is very gender
Okay.
biased.
All right.
Sultan. No?
No.
He's the chairman of the board.
Oh, Frank Sinatra?
Yes!
All right.
Frank Sinatra. Old Blue Eyes himself. Ooh, he did it.
I thought I could get that after you said the Sultan of Swoon.
Yeah.
That's where my mind was at in that area of time of those. Yeah, that was where my mind was at.
We had The Voice because Frank Sinatra has a golden voice. The Sultan of Swoon, that actually comes up. Chairman of the board.
Chairman of the board.
He has a quote, too. He's like, people would always come up and ask me, what board are you chairman of? And he would be like, honestly, I don't know. I don't.
I like Frank Sinatra.
Well, you're not gonna. No, you are.
No,
There's
okay.
really not much.
Right.
It's actually a pretty light episode, but it is Frank Sinatra. We had a request from some friends of ours. A man we called Roy was like, you really should check out Frank Sinatra. Had an interesting life, and he did. You know, we're gonna get into some mafia things. We're gonna get into some Vegas things.
I like the mystique around him.
Ooh, the Rat Pack. Yeah,
I like the sort of the image of that time of Vegas and and the mafia a little bit. And,
Old Blue Eyes
and being cool, man. He was
Swoon,
cool.
Swoonatra was gonna be my last.
Swoonatra. That one.
Yeah. All right. December 12th, 1915. Born Francis Albert Sinatra in Hoboken, New Jersey, USA.
Okay.
Hoboken is part of New York metropolitan area. It's located on the Hudson waterfront. It's in part of the Port of New York and New Jersey.
Okay, and he was, that's his name.
Yes.
Francis
Albert Sinatra.
Yeah.
So we're going to call him Francis. That's what we do.
Do we?
I never call him by I didn't call him ODB. His name was Russell. Hoboken is the location of the first recorded game of baseball ever in the United States.
Is it really?
June 19th, 1846, Hoboken, New Jersey, at the Elysian Fields. The New York Nine from the New York Baseball Club defeated the Knickerbockers from New York 23-1 in 4 innings.
Huh.
Smashed them.
What's a Knickerbocker?
Damn it. I always try to anticipate your questions. I used to know that because of the Knicks.
Yeah, well, it was Knicks, and there's the Knickerbocker Hotel in New York.
I believe it's a description of a type of person, like a patriot or someone like that, like a Knickerbocker.
Okay, well,
so,
homework.
Like a beef eater.
Homework, people.
If you know, send us a note. Notable people from Hoboken.
Oh, I bet there's a lot.
Colonel John Stevens, inventor and founder of Hoboken.
Okay, so what?
I stuck kind of to
inventor of Hoboken.
That's what it says.
Look what I have invented.
It says inventor.
A piece of land.
Land. I call it land. People will like it.
I call it Hoboken.
We'll only make so much and then never make. Well, Hawaii, they're making more. But I just said inventor and then / founder of Hoboken. I don't think he invented Hoboken.
Well, it said it on your card.
It did.
If it says it on your card, Brian, it's gospel.
That's a fact. It was at least printed 3 times on the internet. That's how it makes it on the card.
All right.
The Bongos, they're an alternative rock pioneers band. Julio Fernandez, longtime guitarist.
Julio.
He's a longtime guitarist for the band Spyro Gyro.
Okay, get to some people I know.
Maria Pepe, the first girl to play Little League Baseball.
Seriously, dude.
You're a Little League coach.
I am, but I mean, not for
Fine.
girls. I'm just kidding. Hey, by the way, no.
Whoa.
No, we are pushing our league into getting as many young women playing as possible.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't as a father of a daughter, I don't think it's right. It's fine if girls play softball over baseball, but I think we should let them.
You should have the opportunity.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, softball's just as hard to frickin' do as baseball.
Is it
just because the ball's bigger doesn't mean they don't put certain things in place to make that sport very, very tough.
That underhand pitch is fast.
Oh my gosh, and you're so close.
Yeah.
Oh, it's legit.
All right. Somebody famous.
I mean,
Here you go. William Lowell Sr. He's a dentist and the inventor of the wooden golf tee. He's from Hoboken.
Are you joking me? Is there anybody on this list that anybody cares about?
G. Gordon Liddy.
Okay.
Watergate conspirator and radio talk show host.
Shoot them in the head. I used to listen to him.
Oh, God.
He's a crazy dude, man.
That's why he's on the list, because I knew that.
Yeah, he was one of the guys that broke into the Watergate Hotel for Nixon.
He garroted somebody, right? That was always, we talked about him in grade school. What was that?
No, I don't know what he did or didn't do during that. I think that was just a burglary.
I see.
But he was a crazy son of a bitch. I think he's
still alive.
I don't know. I don't want to say anything bad about him. I mean, he's up there with what's his name
Epstein?
in jail? No, the guy I'm still scared of.
Oh, Suge Knight.
Suge Knight, yeah.
All right,
don't want him and G. Gordon Liddy on our bad.
We're gonna round it out with Steve Shelley, the drummer for the rock band Sonic Youth, and the entire band Yo La Tengo, all from Hoboken.
All right, Hoboken.
And
it's
for
a
those
hotbed for talent.
If you're not in the music, Buddy Valastro, the Cake Boss, is also from Hoboken.
Okay.
Anyway, Francis said of Hoboken, quote, "Everybody carried a 12-inch pipe then, and they weren't studying to be plumbers."
That's what she said.
Francis got some parents, Natalie Dolly Graventa.
Graventata.
Well, Graventa. There's no
Graventa.
Dolly. But you're supposed to go, why'd they call her Dolly?
Why, Brian?
Yeah.
Why'd they call her Dolly?
I'm glad you asked, Ben. As an adult, she stood less than 5 feet tall and weighed approximately 90 pounds. Large lady.
You know, we use the term for those people today. Yeah, we hit that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
All right. I don't want to spin the conversation somewhere badly. His dad's name was Antonio Martino Marty Sinatra, and they were Italian immigrants.
Yeah, really think? Yeah, right.
Yeah. Dolly would translate for Italian immigrants during the court proceedings, like when they were in America, because they immigrated to the States. And because she would be like, I speak English and a bunch of different dialects of Italian, people were like, can you talk for me, please? And she's like, all right, cool. So this guy,
she would help immigrants,
right,
in the courts
States,
or whatever,
immigration court or whatever you want to call it. Yeah,
she was a translator.
Yeah, Ellis Island, but like not official, but just like that lady speaks Sicilian and whatever and all that stuff. So she'd translate for the immigrants during that stuff, and this got her a respected position sort of in local politics.
Well, in that time, there were a lot of people coming over from overseas in boats.
Yeah, it was a rush.
That's the whole Ellis Island and
yeah. Honestly, I think it might be Paris Island. Anyway, somebody will tell us.
Ellis Island is the one that the
big
Statue of Liberty's on.
Right, I think
you might be right, Brian.
I think Paris Island is. Oh, I've been to both, and now you can't. Can you go to the Statue of Liberty anymore? I don't know if you can.
I know there is a debate whether New York owns the Statue of Liberty or New Jersey.
Oh.
There's been many debate. Well, it's owned, I think, actually by the federal government. Is the Park Service or something takes care of it?
Yeah, I was like, take it up with the French. They're the one who gave it to us.
Actually, it was just a dude from France. It wasn't officially given to us from another country, I don't think.
Oh.
It was a dude trying to shop his wares, and he wanted to give it to some World's Fair. And they're like, I don't want that.
Eiffel designed the tower. Yeah, same guy who made Eiffel Tower, because that's based, like, the Statue of Liberty is his mother. That's her face.
Huh.
Anyway.
She's a handsome woman.
Well, speaking of Statue of Liberty back in those days, it's about 1919, and Dolly chains herself to City Hall in support of the women's suffrage movement.
Look at that.
Yeah. According to a biographer, Kitty Kelly, Dolly was a foul-mouthed woman of, quote, such gall that men had to recognize her as their equal.
And she's just a little tiny thing.
Yeah.
Those ones you gotta watch out for.
She worked as a midwife, earning $50 for each delivery. That's a lot of money back in 1919.
Still feel like it's a lot. You're not even doing all the labor.
Yeah. She also ran an illegal abortion service that catered to Italian Catholic girls, which she got the nickname Hatpin Dolly.
Ugh.
Do you even want to think about what a hatpin abortion
no,
is like?
No,
me neither. I just let it at that. I'm like, I'm not going down. I don't want to.
No.
Nope. Francis's dad was an illiterate bantamweight boxer who fought under the name Marty O'Brien.
Oh, what the hell? You're an Italian dude. Live it. Love it.
Well, we'll get there. He retired from boxing in 1926 after having broken both wrists, and he had a record of 1-8, and he got knocked out 6 times in a row.
Okay, so he didn't flourish at that.
No. But reference sake, bantamweight back then is 115 to like 118 pounds. These are small people.
I think there's still a bantam in boxing.
Oh, for sure, but I think it's like 126 now or something like that.
Oh,
So,
okay, whatever.
Anyway. Later, Francis's dad worked for the Hoboken Fire Department, ended up spending 24 years there, worked his way up to captain.
Oh, I bet you had a good career there. That's an honorable, good, nice career still today, for sure.
Fire captain,
Yeah.
absolutely. They had eloped, Marty and Dolly, on Valentine's Day, 1913, and they were married in City Hall, New Jersey, just a little bit that same day. So,
those crazy kids.
They later got remarried in a church. Francis was born. He weighed 13.5 pounds at birth.
Bullshit. I call bullshit.
I'm just saying what it says.
Listen, scales back then, the moon was closer. I don't know, 13-pound babies. unless you're a foal.
And he was a breech birth. They had to use the forceps to deliver him, which caused severe scarring on his left cheek, neck, and ear, and perforated his eardrum, damage that remained for his life.
Whatever. All right.
Childhood operation.
It was on the internet. It's got to be true.
Childhood operation on his mastoid bone left scarring on his neck, and he suffered from cystacne that scarred his face and his neck. Some children called him Scarface when he was 11, and this made him angry, and he always had, resentment towards the doctor who delivered him.
And now you're called Scarface, and you're cool.
That's true.
Yeah.
Francis was raised Roman Catholic.
Yeah, they're Italian, man.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what they do.
What happened in 1920 in the United States, Ben? Drinky.
Oh, was it Prohibition?
Prohibition
Right, I was
became
trying to really
law.
think about it.
Now, give people who are non-Americans a real quick sense of Prohibition.
That's when our government said we shouldn't drink alcohol, and so they made it illegal.
There you go.
They didn't make it illegal to drink it. They just made it.
Buy
you
it,
had to have
possess it.
You had to have a stamp, a federal stamp, to make alcohol. They didn't say that was illegal. They just didn't give out any stamps. So,
you need this. Oh, where do you get those? We don't make those.
Yeah, I think they actually had the same thing for marijuana.
That's a great government loophole.
Oh yeah, so
he's got to be certified. Well, how do I get certification? We don't certify people.
And just like all good drugs, you make it illegal. The underground market comes out and flourishes.
Well, that folds nicely. Dolly and Marty ran a tavern during those years called Marty O'Briens. That's where he got his boxing name.
Still staying with that Irish name.
They were allowed to operate because local officials refused to enforce the law.
Yeah. Yep. That wasn't too uncommon. There were still a lot of places everybody knew about to go drink.
It's been theorized that the Sinatras got their liquor from some members of the Mafia.
Well, I know here in Michigan we had a lot of we transported a lot of liquor from Canada across the Detroit River.
Yep, the boats.
In boats and however they would get them over.
Rum runners.
Yeah, and
that's a sweet name.
Our little bit of gangness here was the Purple Gang.
Purple Gang,
Purple
correct.
Hand Gang or something like the Purple Gang.
The Purple Gang down in Detroit.
Yep.
We'll get there.
Really?
Yeah, actually.
Cool.
Yes. 1921, when Francis was 6 years old, his uncle Babe, yes, his name was Babe, his uncle.
Not Babe Ruth.
No. Well, never specified. Hey, it's Dolly's brother. He gets arrested for driving a getaway car after a Railway Express truck driver was murdered. So somebody, I feel like, was trying to boost a Railway Express truck, and then they killed the driver, and Uncle Babe went down. Uncle Babe is convicted and sentenced to 15 years in prison.
Oh, Rikers Island?
Did not specify.
Isn't that the one in New York?
Yes.
All right.
Other family members had minor clashes with the law. Francis's father and uncles had been arrested for assorted minor offenses, and Dolly was reportedly arrested 6 or 7 times and convicted twice for providing those illegal abortions. With
Yeah, she was a rabble rouser.
Oh, dude, she sounds like yeah,
a rabble rouser.
I guess so. I was gonna say like a stronger word, but she might be cool if she liked you. You know, you're like, oh, all right, you're just fierce for like the people and your friends and stuff. And so, Francis recalled spending a lot of time at the family bar, Marty O'Briens, working on his homework and occasionally singing a song on top of the player piano for spare change.
All right.
He earned some pocket money by singing on the street corners. He was a mama's boy. Dolly just doted on him, right? But she's also kind of abusive, and when he made her mad, she would hit him with a small bat that she kept behind the bar.
It's not right, but I think our society today could use a couple more small bats. There are some kids. I'm not saying it's right to hit a kid.
No.
But there are reasons to hit a kid. No, we never hit our kids other than if they were doing things as young children that would hurt them a lot, like playing with an electrical outlet.
Oh.
You can't be doing that.
No.
Running out into the road.
Right.
You can't be doing that. So when I say hit a kid, I mean make a big production out of why they're being punished
Right.
to where they're really scared, and then you give them a spanking.
Okay.
And you're not hitting them hard because once you got them scared that they're going to get hit, it's more of a mental thing. But it's mean. It's sort of messing with their minds, but you're doing it out of a place of I don't want to hit a kid.
No.
I'd never hit a kid out of anger.
No.
But if they're playing with an electrical outlet, I got
I
a couple things I'll do to teach you not to do that before you're getting a swat on the butt. I'll probably never, all three of my kids combined doled out less than 5 spankings.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a couple kids, I think, need hit with a small bat.
Well, young Francis, he took a couple shots. He got out of pocket. We'll get there in a second. He was excessively thin and small as a child and young man. His skinny frame later became a regular target of jokes from him and his Rat Pack buddies. We'll get to the Rat Pack in a minute. During a stage show, Francis once said, quote, "A little kid, skinny. So skinny, my eyes were single file. Between those two, my belly button, my old man thought I was a clarinet."
That's so stupid, but it's funny.
Right?
I'm so skinny, my eyes are single file.
Francis developed an interest in music, particularly big band jazz music, and game show music, da-da-da-da-da, at a young age, and became addicted to listening to the radio.
Ooh.
Well, 1919, that's high entertainment,
Oh,
right?
and that was super technologically new and everything else.
Voices are speaking to me from a box.
Hey, who's the big band guy that got shot down in Germany? Glenn
Campbell?
No,
Glenn Fry. Glenn Oates.
It might not be Glenn.
It's not Glenn. What are you talking about? Give me more context.
There was a big band leader. Oh shoot.
What are you?
He got shot down during World War II in Germany.
Okay.
He was going with his band. Glenn Miller.
Nailed it. Got it.
All right.
Nice.
Which I'm sure Frank listened to quite a bit of.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. All right.
Everybody
did.
So now he's listening to the radio. He began singing, sitting on top of the piano at the parents' bar. His mother was not enthusiastic about the idea of her son becoming a singer, but she realized when he was about 11 that he has something. Like, I don't like it, but man, this kid can sing.
Transylvania 69000. That guy.
Nice. That was beautiful. Francis said, quote, "One day I got a nickel for doing a song just like that."
Ooh.
And he said, "This is the racket." I thought, it's a wonderful to sing. I never forgot it. So he's like, I got paid for singing. So if I'd have given you a nickel, that would have been
there you go.
Totally. During his early teenage years, he forced himself to develop his voice, wanting to make something of himself. He listened heavily to Gene Autry, Rudy Valley, Russ Columbo, and idolized Bing Crosby. Boom, 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 boom.
So he seriously he was looking to do this. He wasn't, he sounded like he's a bit of a natural.
Oh, yeah. He's got some natural talent there, but then he did work at it. And he likes the showmanship.
And he was in that bar a lot, so I mean,
yep.
He was able to show his wares a little bit, maybe where other kids were I don't know if your dad's a milkman, you're driving around in a milk truck. Nobody's going to listen to you sing there.
Got a lot of milk. You're probably good at making ice cream.
Yeah.
But your parents own a bar with a piano. Might be an entertainer.
Waiting for your dad in that lady's house for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, you never know.
With a bunch of kids that run around the block that look just like you.
His uncle, Domenico, gives him a ukulele for his 15th birthday. And right there, man, he's got his instrument, and he's got his voice, and he starts performing at family gatherings, and that's what he always did.
A ukulele at 15?
Yeah.
Okay. Just get a guitar, man. Don't be such a wimp.
That's probably expensive. I mean, that's literally, it's like, that's bigger, more wood, more strings, that's more expensive. So they're like, we'll get the little one.
It's like 1/3 more.
Right now, ukuleles cost you 8 times as much as a guitar. Francis graduated from David E. Rue Junior High. He enrolled at A.J. Demhurst High School on January 28, 1931, where he was arranging bands for like school dances and stuff like that.
I've noticed a lot of people we've talked about showed, the famous musicians that were very good at their craft, showed a propensity for not only being able to make music, but just being in the industry.
Yeah,
doing stuff in their high schools, doing stuff young, putting stuff together, putting bands together.
Yes.
Facilitating the whole entire process along. Not just singing pretty music or playing a nice guitar. A lot of our people, and this is what Frank's doing, it looks like.
Yeah.
He just wants to be mixed up in mixed up in the business.
Even in high school, working it up.
Early, yeah.
Yep. He leaves high school without graduating, having only attended 47 days before being expelled for general rowdiness. School principal Arthur Stover stated, quote, "He showed no real talent for anything." Macy Haggerty, his math teacher, described him as lazy boy with absolutely no ambition at all
Teachers
when it comes to school.
Teachers and principals today would never.
Oh, you can't. That's a meeting with a parent. If you said he shows no real talent for anything, be like, excuse me, can we meet the teacher and his parents and stuff like that? And the kid, get him in here.
Even back in the day with us, Brian, our teachers had to be a little politically correct.
Potential.
Shows potential. That's that's just like saying
no potential.
He's an idiot.
Your kid sucks.
Compared to all the other kids, your kid's terrible.
Terrible. That's good. Francis's father shared that sentiment. He was particularly disappointed with his son, hoping that he would at least make it to college.
Back then, going to college would have been a much bigger deal than it's for a kid from the streets.
Francis recalls his father scolding him in a very strong Italian accent on the school steps. What's the matter with you? Why don't you want to learn? What's the matter with you?
What's the matter?
To please his mother.
Hey.
Pizza party. To please his mother, he enrolled in Drake Business School.
Drake Business School.
There you go.
Is this like the precursor to the Trump College?
Trump University, possibly. Mr. Drake. He leaves after 11 months, so it's not like he stuck it out.
He did more than I ever did in college.
His father insisted that Francis find a, quote, real job to avoid becoming a bum after leaving school.
Hey, that's what a father's job's to do. I mean,
you're not wrong.
I mean, he tried to be a boxer. He was terrible at it.
But he tried. He went out there. His mom found him a job, though, as a delivery boy at the Jersey Observer newspaper.
Oh, he's a newsie.
He's a newsie for a bit, doing paperwork.
And he had one of those hats.
Yeah, little doughboy hat thing. He briefly works as a riveter, too, in the shipyards.
What?
A riveter. Like Rosie the Riveter. He's a riveter, riveting boats, I guess.
Riveting the hell out of boats.
And then he performed at the local Hoboken social clubs like the Cat's Meow and the Comedy Club. And he sang for free on radio stations like WAAT and Jersey Sizzy. What? In New York, he found his job singing for his supper, or he'd go up and do a song or two and get paid in cigarettes.
All right.
1935, he gets his first break when his mother persuaded a local singing group, the Three Flashes.
She went in there and just started fucking yelling at him, I guarantee
to let him join.
She probably was knocking shit over. Nobody wants to hit this little girl that's
you
under 5
want to
foot.
have my boy sing with you? Fred Tromburo, the group's baritone, said, quote, they only took him on board because he owned a car and then he could drive the group around. See, the thing is, Francis was a little spoiled, like, because he was an only child and his parents had sort of that bootlegging money and were hooked to the mob. He had fancy new clothes, he had a car, he had like all this stuff, right? He was kind of a rich kid.
So there is a mob connection. We haven't talked about it, but Brian's gonna do some exercising and walk around for a little
Just
while
yoga.
in the studio. What are you doing?
Yoga stretch.
No, so he had mob connections then? I mean, I guess
he was allegedly.
I mean, I think the mob has taken on a. We think about it today as what we've seen in movies and TV. I think back then the mob was not a organized crime syndicate as what we think of, what we are taught through movies and TV.
Right.
It was more of just the way
families helped families.
People took care of each other, especially immigrants, and especially the Italian immigrants in the Italian neighborhoods. So, being an Italian immigrant or born of.
Yeah,
you're gonna have quote unquote mob connections just because
we're
Italian and
the
my grandmother's literally from Sicily. Yeah,
we know some mob guys. Yeah.
I mean, it probably didn't have the same connotation as it did today back then.
Right.
Yeah,
I got you.
The mob.
Well, all right. With Francis now in the Three Flashes, the group became known as the Hoboken Four.
That the Three Flashes, was that the three dudes that let him drive him around?
Yes.
Okay.
So now he's actually in the group, though, singing the Hoboken Four. And they passed this audition to appear on Major Beau's Amateur Hour. It's a radio talent show.
Major Beau.
And so they each earn $12.50 for their appearance, but they end up attracting 40,000 votes, and they win first prize.
Oh, wow.
First prize is a 6-month contract to perform on stage and radio across the United States.
That's a big one.
Francis quickly becomes the group's lead singer, and much to the jealousy of his fellow group members, starts getting a lot of attention from the girls.
Isn't that always the way with the lead singer?
Oh God. Always,
I'm just
dude.
a singer in a rock and roll
All
band.
those dudes are always like that. All right, 1938, Francis, 18, finds employment as a singing waiter at a roadhouse called the Rustic Cabin.
Hold on, a singing waiter.
Yes.
I know what I'm thinking. You know what I'm thinking? Am I right? He's just waiting tables and singing?
Yeah. Have you been to Universal or Disney? Like, you go to those diners and then like, oh, all of a sudden somebody's singing and there's a song breaks out and then all the servers start singing or...
No.
Like, no?
I've never and will never go to anything like that.
You ever been to a Texas Roadhouse?
I mean...
And all of a sudden, you're like, you hear the country music, then everybody's line dancing. I think it's one of those type of things.
I've been to Texas Roadhouse, but...
Oh, no? You never seen that?
Oh,
wow. Yeah. No, they'll dance. You ever been to Hooters? Because I know this because I lived with you, and that was our local bar.
And every day we ever went, it was my birthday.
They started dancing. Mine too. That's so weird.
I don't know. That gimmicky crap. Just make some good food and bring it to me.
Yeah, all right. Well, he gets a job.
Singing waiter. Sorry.
Singing waiter. You're fine.
I
never even occurred to me you'd question singing waiter.
I didn't know if it was one of those little goofy words they use, like knickerbocker or something. A singing waiter. Maybe that's what a knickerbocker is.
What's a singing waiter besides a waiter that sings? What's your other alternative?
I don't know. I'm asking. It's like from the 20s.
Like a dumb waiter or a lazy Susan? What are you looking for?
Exactly.
He works as a singing waiter. Oh, okay. So when the food's ready, he goes, ah!
And maybe a singing waiter is just a dumb waiter with a squeaky wheel. I don't know.
Wow. It's in Englewood Cliffs, New Jersey. He gets paid $15 a week. Bonus, the restaurant was connected to a radio station, WNEW.
Huh. Okay. Not what?
No, northeast west New York City. He begins performing with the group live during the dance parade show. So he takes a spot from the waiting thing. He's like, I gotta go, and then
you mean Lightning Crashes, guys?
It could be.
Do you have my reference?
Lightning crash.
Is it live or is it live?
Anyway,
all right.
Despite the low salary, Francis felt that this was his big break. He's like, I'm on a radio show. I am singing next door. I got a lot of exposure here. He even boasted to his friends that he was, quote, going to become so big no one could ever touch him.
Okay. Well,
he's confident.
Yeah.
1938, while working at the cabin, Francis becomes involved in a dispute between his then girlfriend, Tony Della Penta, who recently had a miscarriage of Francis's baby.
A miscarriage, quote unquote. Go see my mom.
Oh, God. I didn't even put that together until now.
My mom wants to talk to you.
Well, there's a dispute going between this girl, Tony, and Nancy Barbadoe. She's a stonemason's daughter and Francis's current fiance.
Oh, wow. All right.
So, yeah. Francis met Nancy in Long Branch, New Jersey. He was up there. He spent the summers up there in Long Branch. He worked as a lifeguard. So he's out on the beach doing things. And as you can imagine, your fiance catching you with your summertime girlfriend, that's not going to go well, that meeting between them two.
It got weird.
Really quickly. After seeing her, Tony attempted to tear off Nancy's dress. Francis is like, Nancy, take off for a second. And he's like, I'm gonna break up with Tony. Cat fight. He goes over to Tony. He's like, look, I'm going to marry Nancy. She's a little younger than you, to be honest. There's a note that said who's several years younger. And because she's pregnant with my baby, like you were then, but you're not now, so I'm going to marry the one who's currently pregnant.
Now, this is Nancy Sinatra.
Well, this is
going to be Nancy Sinatra.
Barbadoe.
All right.
Not the one you're thinking of. These boots are made where we're walking is not this Nancy Sinatra. We're right on the tip there. Dude.
All right.
So, just checking my cards to see when the break's coming. It's a couple cards.
And you couldn't do that with an electronic device. Stack the cards up and see which pile's taller.
That's correct.
All right.
So here's the thing. Because he's breaking up with Tony, who just had a miscarriage of his baby, and he's going out with Nancy, who's currently pregnant with his baby. Tony goes to the police. So Francis gets arrested for sex crimes.
What? They had sex crimes back then?
He was charged with seduction.
Arrest me right now, Brian.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, everywhere I ever go.
Yeah. Right. So you know what seduction is?
I'm guaranteeing you I'm not thinking of what you're about to tell me. Go ahead.
Seduction.
Hey, baby, how you doing?
When a man convinced an unmarried woman of good repute to engage in an inappropriate encounter with him.
It's called Tinder.
There's generally a promise of marriage that is never actually forthcoming, thereby ruining her reputation.
Dude, you know what would be a neat podcast? Sorry.
Off of this, I can only imagine.
Going over stupid old-timey laws.
That's a podcast already, I think.
Is it? And just going over when they were last used, why they were made, if they're still on the books today. Because we hear about that stuff, and it's interesting. I mean, I don't see anybody getting convicted of seduction today. It's probably still on the books.
I mean, it's on the books, right? In New Jersey, I'm sure you could go.
I mean, wasn't there a thing why they call Sundays a Sunday because you couldn't eat them on Sunday, and it was I don't know.
I thought that's the day the sun was made.
No, the ice cream thing.
Oh, I don't know.
There's all sorts of. You can't spit on a sidewalk. There's probably somewhere women have to walk on a certain compared to where the man's at. I don't know.
I see.
Are your cards out of order?
No, I was just trying to find a nice break spot. That's
Oh.
all. I was letting you pontificate while I'm like, where's a good spot where we stop here? So he gets busted for seduction.
What's that? What kind of? What do you have to do?
Well, basically, Francis slept with Tony under the promise of marriage. That's
No, I mean, what do you have to do to make? I mean, court ordered fine or
he's released on a $1,500 bond, and the seduction charges were dropped once it was discovered that Tony was married.
Before?
Uh-huh. So,
Well, she is not now a woman in good repute.
December 22nd,
Bad
1938, Francis is arrested again.
Okay.
Well, since the girl was married, they changed it from a seduction charge to an adultery charge.
Because that was illegal.
That's correct.
All right.
This time, he's released on bond again for $500 instead of $1,500. He spends basically about 16 hours in jail, and that's how that goes.
Huh.
So January 1939.
He's a player.
He is a player. All charges are dropped, and Francis never gets formally charged with adultery or seduction. The case is dismissed.
But he's still like walking around going, "That's right, boys."
Yep.
That's
Basically,
right.
there's a famous mugshot that really boosted him up. Now, shortly after this incident, there was another fight between Tony and Dolly, Francis's mom, and this time Tony gets arrested.
Oh.
So there you go. All right, February 4th, 1939, Francis marries Nancy Barbadeau at Our Lady of Sorrow Church in Jersey City, New Jersey.
Okay. Sounds like a good Catholic church.
Yep. So also, this is a good time in February. Band leader, this guy Harry James, who heard Francis sing on Dance Parade, that show he was on, signs a 2-year contract, $75 a week for one evening a night there after every show at the Paramount Theater in New York.
So one evening a night he has to sing?
Yep, $75 a week, goes out to the Paramount, sings a show, booyah.
That sounds like a pretty good payback then, compared to what he was getting paid before for winning the contest, working at the radio station. $75 a week, that's big money.
Yes. Now, it's even better because with the James Band is that Francis releases his first commercial record, From the Bottom of My Heart.
Okay.
Now, no more than 8,000 copies of the record were sold, and it was not well received, but he's out there making records.
He's now pressing records.
Yep. He's been doing voice training, so now he can sing 2 tones higher, and he developed a great bank of songs. So he's really out there, you know.
Is he writing his own songs, or is he just doing?
He's just doing songs right now.
Okay.
I mean, he'll write a couple, or like 1, 2, but right now he's just really performing other people's songs. November 1939, he leaves James Band to replace Jack Leonard as lead singer of Tommy Dorsey's band.
Okay.
Well, the big deal there is Dorsey gives him $125 a week. So
he's just doubling it.
money. Yep. Now, this is at the Palmer House in Chicago. So he's moving out to Chicago.
The Palmer House. That's where we used to stay all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's now a Hilton. I think it's a Hilton.
Love a Hilton.
But it is old timey. Some of the rooms, hotels back in the day, you really had to have some money to get a room that was anywhere near the size that you see rooms today at hotel rooms. Even
for sure.
like Holiday Inn Expresses and shit.
Right.
They were tiny little closet rooms almost.
Right.
So they ended up they'd knock out a couple walls and make one room that was
Like
adequate by our standards today.
Like a suite.
But the Palmer House is beautiful.
Wow.
I mean, down in their lobby and on the second floor, and they got some pianos and some just everything's mahogany and brass and, fancy wallpaper. Yeah, wallpaper. But it's that texture. It's really nice.
Well, Francis was out there singing and stuff. I'm glad. That's odd because just Palmer House was just in the note. I didn't think you'd actually know it.
Yeah, that's where we
pretty
stayed
good.
all the time for trade shows. That was always
Wow.
the quote-unquote trade show
Nice.
hotel.
All right. Well, cool. Well, then he's doing good, singing out there once a week.
Yeah.
Doing shows.
Yeah. Chicago.
Back in '39.
Okay.
Now
Yeah, Chicago's big then. Probably as big as New York, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not today, but it's still huge.
I would say I don't know their industry anymore. It used to be pigs and hogs and stuff in the railroad yards, right?
Yeah, they had access to the water and to the Midwest.
Gotcha.
All right.
Nah, June 8th, 1940, needing some water and some towels, Nancy and Francis have their first kid.
Can I borrow a towel? I just had a water buffalo.
They have a baby, and they call it Nancy Sinatra.
Okay.
She was born at the Margaret Haig Hospital in Jersey City. So, yeah, that's why he married a girl named Nancy, and then they named their first kid Nancy.
That's nice. That's very progressive back then.
You'll hear about her. She comes up, and these boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do.
Mm-hmm.
Nancy
okay.
Sinatra.
Yeah, that's the one I know. That's what I'm thinking of.
Now, in his first years with the Dorsey Band, Francis recorded over 40 songs. In late 1940, he had his first vocal hit with the song Polka Dots and Moonbeams.
Okay.
Polka Dots and Moonbeams. I don't know how it goes.
I honestly have only heard a couple of Sinatra songs, I think, that I'd recognize. But I'd be interested in listening to some of the other ones.
Oh, sure. Now,
but he was famous for so much more than just singing.
We'll get there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
we got a lot of cards left.
Yeah, okay. I'll even skip the Polka Dots and Moonbeams is one of the top 100 most recorded jazz songs of all time.
Is it really?
Yeah.
All right.
2 more chart appearances followed with Say It and Imagination, which was Francis's first top 10 hit. Imagination. I don't know. That's Michael Jackson. I don't know.
Hey, and to all of our listeners out there that write us the little reviews or comments on all the things, and if any of you ever say that we don't know what we're talking about, you're right.
We don't.
Nailed it.
No,
yeah.
I researched this for like 8 to 10 hours. That's pretty much my depth of knowledge in the subject.
Yeah, and I did 0.
Yeah, yes, right.
So it's interesting, though, because we're trying to sing a song that we've probably heard. We don't know.
Oh, never not. His 4th chart appearance, 1940, I'll Never Smile Again, topped the charts for 12 weeks.
How's that go, Brian?
I'll never smile again. I don't know. That's all I got.
It's like Apple Blossom Blues or something.
The Apple Dumpling Gang. May 1941, Francis tops the male singer polls in Billboard and Downbeat magazine. He appeals to the Bobby Soxers. That's what you called the teenage girls back then.
About what year is this?
1941.
Okay.
So it's revealed a whole new audience for record companies in popular music, which they never thought. They were just like, music is for old people like adults. They didn't think to sell it to kids.
Old dudes, not young women.
Old dudes.
Old dudes.
Yeah, exactly.
Old white dudes.
This phenomenon officially became known as Sinatra Mania. I knew it was Sinatra Mania. I just didn't want to flub.
You mean the
Sinatra
first
Mania.
Mania wasn't Hulkamania?
No, brother, it was Sinatra Mania. Yeah, it's that's it. Yep, it's Frank would come out and he'd like hold his hand up to his ear. Oh, you listen to this side. Then he'd go to the other side and do the wave, like oh.
Then he'd flex.
Yep, flex it out, the double guns. Oh, and then at the very end of the show, he'd do a leg drop on the band leader, and then that was all.
And then that one time they all joined the NWO. Oh. That
He
was
went
a
bad.
sad day, man.
Yeah. The Rat Pack turned into the Wolf Pack, and it went bad. And so, anyway, you know what? We're gonna leave it on that for a second. We're gonna go into our mid break real quick.
Everybody's just like,
huh?
What the hell are they talking about now? I don't even.
Sinatra
Wolf
Hulka.
Pack.
Ultramania Pack.
All right, if anybody knows what the Wolf Pack is or the NWO, let us know at crimeandmusic.com.
Nash for life. All right, have a break. We'll be back.
I think we should try to get more wrestling in the podcast.
I feel like we get a fair amount of wrestling in our podcast.
We probably got the proper amount in already. And we're back. Hey, have you heard anything about the new Grand Theft Auto coming out yet?
No. Oh, I mean, just that it's coming out and the map is huge, and I don't know
I'd like
anything
to get some
about.
more on that.
I feel like it should be a woman lead protagonist. Honestly.
Oh, I don't care, but I've already made comment. I'm gonna get into the online play. I'm not just gonna play the story.
I'm with you then.
Right,
I'll do that. I'll get back in. I'll get an Xbox membership or something and get back in. If you're going to be on GTA Live, I will totally do that.
I think we got about a year.
Because I love it. That's the only reason I bought. People have heard us say it before. The only reason I bought a new gaming console was to get the next Grand Theft Auto, and that's what'll happen the next time when they release it on the next gen platform. I will buy a next gen platform just to get Grand Theft Auto.
That's why they do it.
That's all I do.
And the cool thing about Grand Theft and Rockstar in general is that they will put in things that aren't discovered for years.
Oh, dude, that whole with the aliens and the jetpack and the spaceship on Grand Theft Auto 5 was. I mean, I've never done any of those crazy quests.
And the Bigfoot stuff and the serial killer stuff.
Teen Wolf, serial killer.
The Teen Wolf thing. I just saw that the other day. I never done it. That's almost nearly impossible to do.
I swear I saw Bigfoot in the woods one time just playing that because I would sit unemployed for years playing that game. Not looking for work, babe. No, don't worry about it. A lot of guns.
Speaking of work,
we hit the phenomenon known as Sinatra Mania. He had this legendary show at the Paramount Theater in New York on December 30th, 1942. And tons of people were there. He nailed it. There's this guy, Jack Benny. You might have heard of him. He's famous whole entire. He said, quote, "I thought the goddamn building was going to cave in. I never heard such a commotion. All this for a fellow I never heard of." So Sinatra just slammed onto the scene, man. This is the guy.
Jack Benny was one of the older guard at that time, it sounds like.
Yes.
Okay.
Francis performed for 4 weeks at the theater. His act was following the Benny Goodman Orchestra, another big band guy from back in the day, after which his contract was renewed for another 4 weeks due to his popularity.
Yeah. So, keep milking that cow.
He became known as Swoonatra, or The Voice.
Swoonatra. And he's married.
Yes. Well,
man, that's got to be hard for everybody involved.
It gets harder in a minute. His fans called Sinatra ticks. Wow, that's a clunky name.
Did you write it down wrong?
Sinatra ticks.
Well, no, I don't.
Right?
Sinatrix.
Yeah, there's that extra "ruh" in there. That's what I'm saying. It should be Sinatrix, but it's not. There's a "ruh." There's another A. There's an extra A. Sinatratics. Sinatratics.
I think somebody's about ready to call us out on our comments. Hey, you guys are fun to listen to, but you're idiots.
Yeah, well, I get that comment a lot. Within a few weeks of the show, some thousands of Sinatra fan clubs sprung up all across the U.S. So there are some people out there in the Sinatratics that could write us and be like, "I'm a member of the fan club since 1942.
Yeah. No, I get the fan. I think that was the beginning of fan clubs, because you said a lot of times they didn't even market this stuff to anybody but old
adults,
old dudes.
Right.
Yeah. And now these kids are doing it. And an old guy listening to a record player on his old console thing is not going to start a fan club. So this has got to be the beginning of that sort of fan club, that huge, everybody's listening to you, and the girls are excited.
Yes.
Yeah, and they're writing and they're forming groups.
Exactly.
And they're swooning.
Oh my God. Yes, and it was through the help of his publicist, George Evans. That dude was really kind of the guy. He did he's like, go do interviews with everybody, Francis. Go take photographs with fans. Go do all of that.
That get the hype. Make the media.
Blank card. Don't know what that's.
There's 2 cards there. Oh, they're sticking together.
Both blank cards. I don't know.
Recycle those.
That's why they're numbered. All right. This guy Evans was the man responsible for sort of making Francis look like the shy Italian American guy. He's like, he had a rough childhood, but he did good. He painted that sort of story of that kid.
Okay.
So when Sinatra returns to Paramount in October 1944, 35,000 fans are outside, and they caused a near riot known as the Columbus Day Riot.
The Sinatra Riot. They kept naming everything after Sinatra.
Why not? What?
The lines on the computer aren't very big.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Okay, they're minimized.
Yes. When Sinatra returned I already read that part.
Yeah, they caused a riot.
Yeah, 35,000 people were left outside because the venue, they sold out and those people weren't allowed in, so they rioted.
Yeah, well, that was before Woodstock, so it was a big deal.
That's correct. And people didn't expect a bunch of kids to gather in that many. Like, oh, there'd be 200 kids here.
I was just talking to a buddy.
50,000 kids here.
A buddy this morning on the phone about a concert Clutch is going to play at the Machine Shop.
You love the Machine Shop now.
No, I don't.
Get your pink shirt on. Get up there.
Get my pink shirt going.
Getting the.
But
pit,
the shit
someone.
sold out online like in 1 minute, 2 minutes. You know how that is.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it's coming. It's not a huge venue. People want to go see Clutch, especially in this area of the world. And so it sold out. They opened up a second show, sold out. But I still say you can just show up to these venues a lot of times and expect to buy a scalp ticket real quick. Might cost a couple extra bucks, but if you want to go get a ticket. Not so much for these guys, huh? When you got a couple extra 1,000 people looking for that ticket, they're just showing up. Maybe I'll get to see his
extra
limo.
35,000 people roll through. The Bobby Soxer devotion was so great.
How great was it, Brian?
They would write song titles on their clothes. They would bribe hotel maids just to touch his bed. They'd actually go and physically accost him, trying to steal something like his clothing. Most commonly stolen was his bow tie.
Well, it was his image.
Got a bunch of teenagers grabbing at your neck. I need my voice to sing.
And how old was he at the time, you think?
God.
He was born
1942. He was born in 15, so 15
30.
And yep, roundabout.
Not 30 yet, but he's got
not getting there.
He's got teenagers trying to come after him. So he's not probably, maybe he's hip to it. I don't know.
1942, after some time in the recording studio, Francis believes that he needs to go solo. He's like, you know what? Working with all you guys is great, but I can do better on my own.
He knows that's what everybody's coming to see is him.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows it.
He has an insatiable desire to compete with Bing Crosby.
Oh, that's his hero.
Yes.
All right. Good for him.
He was hampered by his contract, though. See, that gave Dorsey, the guy Dorsey band that he's in, 43% of Francis's lifetime earnings in the entertainment industry.
He signed that contract?
Apparently so. Remember, it was
shit.
like $75 a week, $125 a week. He's just, wow, yeah, more money.
He signed his soul away, man.
A legal battle ensued. They settled in August 1942. In September, Dorsey splits from Francis, reportedly saying, quote, I hope you fall on your ass.
Oh, he's pissed because this guy didn't want to give him free money.
Yes. Rumors began to spread in the newspapers that Francis's mobster godfather, Willie Moretti, had a talk with Dorsey to let Francis out of his contract for a few $1,000s, and he held a gun to his head.
And hung him over a balcony.
Can my nephew get out of that contract? Huh?
Here you see. This is what we're going to do, see?
You think you can fly? Sinatra did not serve in the military during World War II. On December 11, 1943, he was officially classified 4F.
What's that?
Registrant not acceptable for military service by his draft board because of a perforated eardrum. And the U.S. Army files reportedly said that Francis was, quote, not acceptable material from a psychiatric viewpoint.
Sounds like he got a free pass.
Yeah, his emotional instability was hidden to avoid, quote, undue unpleasantness from both the selectee and the induction service.
Oh, you got it. He was Frank Sinatra.
Pretty much so. Oh, you got a busted eardrum?
Eardrum. Nobody can really see that, right?
Yeah,
all right.
I don't want it. Well, that's from the forceps when he was born, remember? Got his head squished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a perforated eardrum.
Despite being heavily, well, you're not going to be drafted.
I used to.
So
I think they fixed it. I still can't hear worse shit.
Well, they're not going to put you in the military, though.
No, there's so many reasons they don't want this. They don't want this in the military.
Undue psychiatric. No, just kidding.
This pile should not have a gun and should not be responsible for protecting our country. This pile should pay taxes to hire people to do that.
That's what you do is you go in like, where are the guns? Like every day, like, they told me I'd have a gun.
I'll need 2 guns.
I need a gun. I'll wear your boots. I'll shave my head, but give me the gun. Terrible jokes. Despite having heavy involvement in political activity in 1945 and 46, in those 2 years, Francis sang on 160 radio shows, recorded 36 times, and shot 4 films. Now he's in the movies.
Yeah, it was actually like,
you gotta sing, you gotta dance, you gotta act.
I mean, him and Elvis did a lot of movies.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
By 1946, he was performing on stage up to 45 times a week, singing up to 100 songs a day, and earning up to $93,000 weekly. Adjusting for inflation, $93,000 in 1946 is equal to $1,283,773.02 in 2019.
Holy shit. So where is he doing a lot of this work at? Everywhere or just in New York?
New York, Chicago.
Everywhere. Okay.
Everywhere.
So he's traveling his ass off.
Traveling his ass off, pulling in like 1.2 mil a week singing.
Yeah.
On March 4th, 1946, Francis launched his first album, The Voice of Frank Sinatra.
I think my dad's got that one. I can almost picture the album cover right now.
It reached number 1 on the Billboard charts. It stays on top for 7 weeks.
So sidebar.
Sure.
I think I told you, Adam, my buddy, and I, he's got a little wood shop, make some chairs.
I got to show you. I'm making puzzles out of cigar boxes.
Yeah, that's fun stuff. Got to do that stuff.
Yeah.
And we do that about once a week, if not about once a week. And so I don't know what we got. We got a record player. We have awesome. A stereo.
That's
we
awesome.
have all the iPods and iTunes and Wi-Fi and all that crap.
It's not the same.
And so, but we were like, yeah, let's get a record player.
Bro.
So we scored a record. Scored a record player.
Nice.
And we only had a couple albums. And there were some like a Neil Diamond album, whatever. And we went to a store and we bought a couple more. They're not cheap. I mean, they're not. I got Rush. I got some Rush.
To America.
But my old man,
Neil Peart, buddy. We haven't been in session since Neil Peart died.
R.I.P. Neil Peart.
R.I.P. Neil Peart.
He's my true princess. So, Tom came through. My old man. I never thought he'd do this in a million years. Like, hey, Dad, we got a record player at Adam's house. If you got any old albums and I just kind of like quit right there. I'm like, nah, never mind. He goes, oh, I got some. I'll give you my doubles.
Nice.
Things. He had like 2. So he came back with a fat stack of albums.
A crate of albums, did you?
A big crate of albums.
Yeah.
And like old, like cleaner and a swab thing, like a big. It looks like a candy bar, but you wipe it on the. It's made out of felt.
Yeah, the felt. Yep.
Yeah.
The record cleaner.
So we started listening to some. He had some rap albums.
Oh wow.
Bubba Sparks.
Yes.
Bubba Sparks.
Because I'm country.
Yeah, I got a double the Bubba Sparks album you can have.
Going country.
But yeah, we got a bunch of albums. A good Zeppelin, The Who. Some old ones from the 70s.
Let me talk about it.
A little bit from the 80s. Yeah. So it's exciting.
Bubba knows. That's hilarious. There's a stack of records over there. It sounds better, right? Like you actually, I think the albums were better writing. Whoever wrote them, producers or musicians, because you had to listen to the whole album. You're not going to skip as readily as you do now. And like the vinyl's got a warmth to it, man. Just like a tone that's not digital. It
does. You have to have your setup, your record, your player, your amp, your speakers, all have to be a little high quality.
Yep, higher quality and tuned in correctly.
Yeah, and they do sound better because they don't eliminate bandwidth from the music that they don't think you can hear. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like if you just download a music and you're listening to Pandora, they're only delivering what your ears can hear. There's a lot of back noise that is not in there anymore. They take it out. They have to compress
Not exactly. Yeah, I was going to say not exactly. We just went through this with our audio guy in compression. Like, do we do 44 hertz or do we do 42.2, 41.4? And it's like, yeah, the human ear can only hear so many frequencies, and so they do. Take it out.
Analog album just gives you, it dumps everything in.
Doesn't care. Yeah, it gives you all the hertz.
And you hear the little pops and the scratches. That's fun. Yeah, it makes you feel like you're cool.
Yes, it is.
That's really all I'm trying to do in this life, is make myself feel cool.
Make yourself feel cool?
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, 1948, Francis is not feeling cool. His popularity starts to decline.
In 48?
Yeah, he's getting a reputation as a womanizer with a bad temper.
Well, he had a daughter and a wife.
Well, he gets caught cheating on his wife Nancy with actress Ava Gardner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so he gets bumped from the heartthrob list too for the first time in many years.
It'd be hard. That would be hard to do in his position,
dude.
On the road all the time, probably having a couple martinis.
Oh, for sure.
All these women coming up to you. I don't know.
He's been up and down and over and out, but he knows one thing: each time that he finds himself flat on his face, he picked himself back up and got back in the race. That was his life. Oh, yeah. That's what all the people say. He was riding high on Sunday. Got shot down in May. Anyway.
Did you write that, Brian?
I did. It's actually written out right there. 1950s.
Was that a lyric or something?
Yeah, that's Life. That's one of his songs.
Okay.
That's life.
Let's share that bit with our audience. You explain that.
No, I don't like explaining. That's the best part, because then the people who get it go.
Brian's losing it here, dude.
Yeah, you are correct. All right, so that was his life, and then in the I'm skipping now because really there's a lot of detail about Frank Sinatra. We've kind of gone through most of the crime. He got picked up for seduction and adultery, which
it
both
don't
never
take
really
a lot
happened.
to get on our show anymore.
No, but I mean it's Frank Sinatra, man. This guy's the bomb.
And if we didn't cover seduction and adultery as a crime, then we're not doing our jobs.
We're not. No. So here, we're kind of I'm gonna skip big chunks, and I'm not gonna get all specific. So just save your keyboard, warriors.
No, write everything.
No, write them all down. All right, come on, attack us then.
Yeah,
I'm gonna miss a lot. You guys fill in the blanks.
Hey, most of the people that have criticized a lot of people have wonderful things to say, and of course, that's all well and good. But the guys and ladies that have criticized anything anywhere, they've done it pretty well.
I bet it's been actually really
kind
good.
Of funny.
You got me.
I don't think anybody's mad about it. We're just up here talking about it. Yeah. Well, do you have a couple we can read at the end of the show?
I have some we can read at the end of the show.
There's one that's my favorite.
Things that just make me, like, right before I go to bed, I'm like, oh, look, I got a new message. I'm like, oh.
I love them.
Time to go to sleep now, I guess.
I'm a sadist, though, whatever.
All right, so Francis becomes one of the first Las Vegas residency entertainers, meaning that he would book a show at the same Las Vegas hotel and casino for like weeks at a time.
So he was one of the first guys that kind of did that?
Yes, be one of the first.
It wasn't Louis Anderson?
He's still there, even though wasn't he dead? Still, you can get a buffet in Louis.
Is he dead?
I don't know.
He looks like he...
Him and Ralphie May and some of those dudes all look sort of the same, and John Candy, I don't know who's alive and who's not.
Okay.
All right, during this period, Francis becomes a member of the Rat Pack.
Okay, so was that something spawned organically, or was it kind of put together, do you think?
An informal group of entertainers centered on the Las Vegas casino scene. It originated in a group of friends that met at the home of Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall.
Okay, so it was just the guys on the end.
Well, you're hanging out with these actors. Yeah. They're hanging out with other actors. And then you're like, oh, there's these musicians that are hanging, you know.
Next thing you know, somebody let Sammy in.
Exactly. Why? What?
Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh, well, yeah. No, but why wouldn't they let him in anyway?
Well, they made him convert to Judaism, so he's good.
Oh, Lord.
Actually, I think there were a lot Sinatra was Catholic 100%.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
Dean Martin was Catholic 100%.
Yeah.
Dean Martola or something like that is his name. Well, here we go. The group featured Frank Sinatra, Dean Martiola, I think it was, Sammy Davis Jr., Peter Lawford, and Joey Bishop, amongst some others.
And some pipe beating motherfuckers from Italy.
It's like the Wu-Tang Clan. Like everybody's in the Rat Pack, and then these are the main guys.
And they go do their own thing. They come back. Yeah, it's the exact same thing.
They appeared on stage and in films in the early 1960s. All of them was like, okay, Dean Martin's in a Frank Sinatra film. Frank Sinatra's in a Dean Martin film. They're passing the buck around, like Seth Rogen.
Ocean's 11.
That is actually one of their original films.
Is it one of their original films?
Yes.
Dean Martin was funny.
He was drunk, but yes, very funny.
He was funny. He was smooth. He was quick-witted.
I feel like we'll get there. We might end up doing just a whole Rat Pack suite of podcasts.
And he was him and Jerry Lewis, right?
Okay.
I think him and Jerry Lewis started together somewhat.
Jerry Lewis was technically in the Rat Pack. Again, like the Wu-Tang members.
And they were funny as hell.
Yes.
They were funny together. And, one guy's a straight guy, and then there's Flavin, Jerry Lewis, whatever, doing his thing.
Professor Frank?
Yes.
All right, so Francis stars in the film Here to Eternity. It's him, Montgomery Clift, Burt Lancaster. It jumpstarts this career revival for him. Remember I told you how he's kind of down? He gets his revival off of this Here to Eternity film. He wins an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. And then after that, he goes off to record a song, I've Got the World on a String. That was super bad. Sitting on a Rainbow.
Is Here to Eternity the one with the beach scene at the end or some crap?
That's Planet of the Apes.
Okay, yeah, I get those two mixed
up. You
up.
blew it up! I can't
You
believe
damn dirty ape. Yeah, okay.
After listening to the playbacks on I've Got the World on a String, I can't even do it. My voice is so shitty. Francis could not hide his enthusiasm, exclaiming, I'm back, baby! I'm back! He's super happy. I've got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Though Francis always denied he was connected to the mob, he did interact with some famous mafia figures, like Chicago mob boss Sam Giancana. Should we be reading mob bosses out? The names?
Well, that's not. They're all probably like, yes, we should.
Yeah,
you should. I have no affiliation with this guy.
This is in the 60s. They might be dead. Francis had other mafioso friends, many of whom can be found in his FBI files. The FBI has been tracking Frank Sinatra and his moves since the 1940s.
Well, that's when the FBI was started. I don't even know if it was in the 40s. They were the FBI. I think they're called something different, but they started tracking famous people.
Right.
Yeah.
That's because he
especially
had
in the media or in the
entertainment
industry.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Because he had associations with criminals and hoodlums and accusations of Francis being a dope racketeer. Not a dope racketeer, but like a dope racketeer.
A sweet racketeer.
He's not good at it.
Dope.
He's trafficking dope. There are accounts of gifts from Joseph and Charles Fischetti, two brothers with Chicago outfit, who ran illegal gambling operations. There's a Godfather-style appearance at an Atlantic City club as a favor for attendees of the wedding of a daughter of Philadelphia mobster Angelo Bruno.
He knew people.
There's even documentation of the mob exerting pressure on Francis's behalf to release him from his 1951 music contract. We talked about
with Dorsey,
that.
yeah.
FBI agents also watched Francis carouse with Detroit mobsters Anthony and Vito Giacalone.
Yeah.
Giacalone. Retired FBI agent Sam Ruffino said, quote, "It was like clockwork. A few times a year, we'd trail the Giacalones to the airport to pick up Sinatra. They'd spend the weekend together socializing before and after his shows. Almost every night, they'd shut the place down. And he didn't make any apologies for it. Those were his friends. The fact that they were known hoodlums and murderers didn't matter to him. He didn't care. He was going to hang out with who he wanted to and hang around with.
Yeah, I'll keep those guys as close to me as possible as friends, sure.
I'm not going to piss him off.
Not at this point, dude.
Francis flaunted his friendships with organized crime and took plenty of public photographs with well-known mobsters.
See, it worked. It was that romantic feel of the mob, and he knew it. And
I think you're right.
He fell in love with it.
They weren't going to whack him. I mean, he's fine.
And back then, I mean, even now, people have such a romantic view of our gangsters, of our mobsters, not just the Italian mobsters, but the gangsters. But everybody's like that.
He's in with the mob. He likes the mob guys. It's family.
Yeah. And, hey, Italian mobsters, I think they ate real well. In fact, I think I'm going to make some Italian food tonight for dinner after the show. I'm serious.
Made pasta last night, buddy. Got the 00 flour out and made my own noodles.
It's called double O.
Double O what?
Double O flour. It's not 00.
Oh.
It's double O.
I was calling it flour. 1950, Francis offers to snitch on some of his criminal friends that he hung around with. He sends an associate to J. Edgar Hoover.
Are you serious?
To offer his services as an informant.
What?
The FBI declined. One of Hoover's aides wrote, quote, "We want nothing to do with him."
Huh. I wonder if he's serious or he's just going to, put up a bunch of red herrings or something.
Yeah, well.
I mean, just bad information.
Francis was never prosecuted for criminal behavior in connection with his many mob ties. But the FBI was watching him for what they considered to be suspicious activity with possible ties to communism.
I thought that might come up.
He's a red.
Well, he's Italian.
He's a red.
I mean.
He's a commie.
Is he for real?
That guy's a commie. No, now where did the nice little boy like you learn such
a
word? I just believe
commie.
I just believe the workers should have control of the means of production. That's all I'm saying. I'm not. Don't take that out. The FBI didn't always focus on the singer himself. Since Francis was such a high-profile star, he was regularly targeted by people who wanted to extort or blackmail him. You ready for this?
Yeah.
December 8th, 1963, 2 weeks after President Kennedy was assassinated, who was a friend of Frank Sinatra's. They're at Harrah's Lake Tahoe. It's a hotel casino in Tahoe. Mm-hmm. Room 417. 417 for you. 3 men kidnap Francis's son, Frank Sinatra Jr., age 19. They nab him while he's sitting in his underwear eating chicken thigh at the hotel.
Oh, dude, I would be so pissed. Dude, can you wait a minute? Can I go wipe my hands off?
Hey, fellas, what's up?
Put a pair of drawers on.
They drive him around all over California in a Chevy, sometimes blindfolded in the back seat. Sometimes he's in the trunk. I don't know why they're moving around. Get in the back now.
Stop at the gas station. I'm putting this guy in the trunk.
The FBI.
He's not wearing any pants.
The FBI tells Francis to wait for the ransom demand. and then play it so that the Bureau could sort of track the money and then get the kidnappers. Like, just give them the money. We'll figure out where the money goes. Then, follow the money. Junior's released 54 hours later after his father paid $240,000 in ransom demanded by the kidnappers. It's about $2 million in today's money. The FBI soon caught the abductors. The ringleader turned out to be 23-year-old man named Barry Worthington Keenan, an alcoholic drug addict and devout Catholic who had attended high school with Francis's older daughter, Nancy.
Oh.
So it's a friend of his kids, Nancy's.
Yeah, it's usually somebody you know.
Steals
sure.
her little brother. Keegan briefly entertained the idea of kidnapping Bob Hope's son, Tony, but figured that would be un-American.
At least he had some morals.
Yeah, right. Not stealing Bob Hope's kid. All three kidnappers were convicted and sentenced to long prison terms, which they only served small portions of. They were all sentenced to 12 years, served 4.5, and the kidnappers all demanded that the communication be conducted by payphone. So that's the thing. They're like, hey, when we're doing the kidnapping, we're going by payphone. During these conversations, Francis is concerned he wouldn't have enough coins to, keep the call going. Like, excuse me, please insert 25 cents to continue talking. We have to explain payphones to people. You had to pay money so you could use a phone that was on the side of the road. Or
yeah, it was a big, huge phone, and the handset that you talked into and listened out of was connected to a big box with a cable.
You had to put coins in it.
You had to put coins in it.
Like it was pay as you go, but you had to literally pay right then as you go, and there's no credit system. So.
Yeah.
Now, see this, having the ransom thing, that prompted Francis to carry 10 dimes with him at all times for the rest of his life.
Oh, really?
He was buried with 10 dimes in his pockets.
Oh, that's
Spoiler,
cool.
He dies.
Okay.
His FBI file never ended up getting him in any trouble. It did reflect the power and influence he had, though, because they were worried about him starting social movements with communism and things like that.
So, was he a compassionate? Was he a pinky, or he wasn't a full out?
No, he was not a What happened was he was
suspected of it, but was he?
There was a screenwriter strike in Hollywood, and they fired these guys. It was like the Hollywood Nine. And they fired these dudes because they would not say whether they were or were not communists.
Yes, I kind of remember something.
Right. And Sinatra was sort of sympathetic to him. He's like, leave them alone, man. They don't have to tell you if they are or aren't. And it doesn't matter. We're making movies and music. It does not matter.
That's part about being an American is you can be a communist.
If you want to, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Don't tread on me.
Right. That was sort of what they're like. They could have painted him with the brush of communism if they wanted to, because they were taking people down back then. Like, oh, he's a commie, she's a commie. Oh, ruining careers and stuff.
It was a scary time, and there was a bit of a witch hunt situation going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Though his FBI file references a lot of his shady dealings and thuggish friends, it also shows him speaking out against racism and on the behalf of democracy.
Okay.
So he goes on to achieve legendary status in film and music. He recorded 1,400 singles, 108 songs on the charts, 3 #1 hits, 14 top 10 hits. He's nominated for 30 Grammys. He won 11 Grammys. He's got a Lifetime Achievement Award, a Legends Award, Album of the Year 3 times. Only 5 groups have ever done that. He has 3 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
He has 3. What a greedy bastard.
Those cost you $25,000 a piece every time you get one. Like you, the performer, just so you know.
Well, can I just get one?
Yes.
I can just go buy one.
There's a waiting list, and you have to have $25,000. But I think honestly, the requirements aren't large.
Okay.
It's a money-making venture on the Walk of Fame. That's why it's the Walk of Fame.
It's not sanctioned by
by the Walk of Fame.
Well, I mean, they're putting it in the sidewalk, which I believe is like the city sidewalk, isn't it?
I suppose there's an arrangement with the city because it generates tourism and whatnot.
It's a good thing for everybody.
Well, he's got 3 stars there on the Walk of Fame. He was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Ronald Reagan in 1985. He was in at least 44 movies.
Well, then he's not a commie.
No, he's
if Reagan's giving him shit,
no,
he ain't a commie.
I just think they were justifying watching him.
Yeah.
And because he had so much social sway, they were very close on. Like Elvis, same thing. They were watching him and to make sure he didn't.
Well, Elvis was trying to break down the doors to be a federal agent.
Yeah, they weren't worried about him.
So what's the? The stars on the Walk of Fame are one thing.
Right.
What's the thing where they put their hands in the shit in the concrete?
Grauman's Chinese Theater. It's the same thing. It's the Walk of Fame. Is that
part of it?
I believe it's just the end of it.
I don't know.
So,
can I pay to do that?
Sure. He had a radio show, the Frank Sinatra Show. He was married 4 times. He had 3 children, all with his first wife, Nancy. He lived a long life, suffered some health problems, including high blood pressure and bladder cancer during his last years. May 14th, 1998, at the age of 82, Frank Sinatra dies of a heart attack. His final words were, close. I'm losing.
All right.
Night after. Oh, God.
That's present tense, and now it's past tense. I lost.
There's a bunch of blank cards here. I don't know what happened to card 73. We'll never know.
It's probably something really like important.
There's 75. That's blank. 73. Woo!
All right, good.
Made me scared for a second.
We got down to the last two cards here, and Brian's the whole show's coming off
and I
the
forgot
rails.
to. The night after his death, the lights on the Empire State Building in New York City were turned blue. The lights on the Las Vegas Strip were dimmed in his honor, and the casinos stopped spinning for 1 minute.
Wow!
Oh, dude.
Wow!
Quote from Frank Sinatra himself. Quote, "I am a thing of beauty."
I think he stole that from me.
Frank Sinatra, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, just put maybe a little context there. When he died,
yeah,
and I don't think it was nearly as tragic as what we had here recently with the Kobe.
Yes. No.
But I mean that's getting a lot of press right now, and they're doing all these special things for Kobe Bryant. Died in a helicopter crash here recently.
I mean, he did rape a girl, but
well, Frank Sinatra had some seduction?
Seduction and adultery. He slept with him, just saying he was going to marry him. I think he had their consent.
And that whole entire thing was.
You never know. That was a long time ago.
That thing that happened, I actually when it happened, I just looked into it here, and there was never really any. He was never convicted. They dropped the charges. Yes, then a civil suit came through. She ended up getting paid. So who knows? I mean, he had.
You know what? I did. I will cite my source. I read this on Twitter. If you take a settlement, it wasn't rape. You a hoe is what the tweet said. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know about that, but
whatever. And there's definitely a lot. It's hard to be a celebrity back then.
Oh God.
And it's hard to be a celebrity
now.
Now.
Oh, it's hard.
Sometimes that celebrity passes, like the Kobe thing. They start doing all the cool things at basketball games, taking the 24-second and the 8-second violation.
Sure.
Oh, well, those were his two numbers, to 8 and 24.
Score a goal unit. I don't.
Yeah, go sports. Yee, woo.
Yeah, yep.
But they dimmed the lights on the Vegas Strip.
Yep.
Or in the L.A.
No, Vegas Strip.
Vegas Strip. They quit playing.
They stopped gambling.
For a minute.
In the entire city of Las Vegas.
The New York building over there turned the lights blue.
The Empire State Building.
Dude, that's cool.
That's a way to go out, man. That's a way to go
cool.
out.
I mean, that's neat.
Right.
And he wasn't a choir boy.
No.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
It's hard to live an entire life and be perfect every day. I'm giving it my best.
I was like, how you doing it, Ben? How you doing it? Since Ben said he's living the perfect life every day.
I'm being perfect. It's not perfect. I've never done anything wrong.
If you've never done anything wrong, send us a message on the social medias. Reach out to us wherever you get your podcasts, and let us know that you're listening. Ooh, just a side note, Wyoming. We got 3 people in Wyoming, or 3 downloads from Wyoming.
Yeah,
one person downloaded 3 episodes. So we confirm that it exists. It's a state.
I think we talked about this already.
I know. I'm just
Pretty
super happy about
this.
Wyoming is out there. It's almost like seeing
we literally have thousands upon tens of thousands of downloads, and these 3 from Wyoming's got Brian getting a bigger boner than I've ever seen.
Wyoming,
taking corners wide over here.
I'm telling you. All right, guys, that's enough for us. If you like that sort of thing, share with a friend, subscribe, tell people, listen to Crime and Music. Ooh, go to iTunes and leave a review.
And if you're from Vermont, come on, give Brian a Vermont boner.
Dude.
We won't get Vermont.
That's the last one. We literally have 49 states out of 50. Vermont.
How about Vermont?
What, syrup and trees? What do they got up there?
Isn't Bernie Sanders got some pull? Can
Vermont.
Bernie help us?
That's Newhart. That's your Newhart land, dude.
Know.
Can't you somehow spark a Newhartian revolution up there?
I'll try.
All right. Everybody in the world, never trust a big butt and a smile, and people in Vermont especially.
You better trust Vermont big butts. They don't get big butts in Vermont, maybe. Where's Ben and Jerry's from?
Vermont. It's everything they're about.